Namaste. Welcome to Good Yoga. My name is Kelly McKibben, and today we'll be practicing an excellent form of yoga therapy. We'll just call this chair yoga. I invite you to sit in a firmly supportive chair and walk the buttock up to the front edge of the chair so you have plenty of room behind you for some spinal extension and rotation. Let's allow some time to check in and become a bit more centered and purposeful before our practice begins. Soften and close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. And remind yourself, why are you here on your mat at this time, willing to engage with the practice of yoga. Dedicate yourself as you know that your practice has great relevancy and value in your life and will benefit others. Take a nice deep breath in. And as you let it out, open your eyes and placing your hands again in the gesture of harmony, love, and well-being, and bowing the head with reverence. So again, placing the hands comfortably on the thighs and rolling the shoulders up, back, and down. Feel a little bit of a toning in your core abdominal muscles to help you lengthen your spine. You want your body to be awake and alert and yet relaxed and receptive as you practice. We're going to start with the 6 movements of the spine. We'll have a flexion and extension series, a rotation to right and left, some lateral movement, and then combine these movements. We'll start with flexion and extension. First, press down into your thighs, lengthen the spine perhaps just a little bit more. Inhale. And as you exhale, round the back. Blow the exhalation out, tucking the tummy muscles back towards the spine and stretching your shoulder blades apart. On your inhalation, slide back up. Draw your elbows back so that you can lift your chest with an added opening through the rib cage. And now continue this movement. One of the valuable principles of practicing yoga is to synchronize the breath with your movement so that the intelligent life force, or prana, is invited to reach in a dynamic and expansive way into the parts and places that are in motion. Enjoy one more spinal extension, and please just blow out that stale air from the bottom of your lungs. And then fully inhale from the bottom to the top, again drawing the elbows back to further lift the chest. Okay. And then we'll release the hands and allow the arms and hands to relax by the side. And we'll try some back stroking with the shoulders. You may want to turn your head in some intuitive way with this movement. As you continue, see if you can soften your eyes, relax your face and jaw, and notice the blessing that this movement has on your neck, throat, and of course your shoulders and shoulder blades. And just a few more, practicing what feels like fluidity in your non-linear motion. The body loves that. Okay, good. come to stillness again and let your arms hang limply. And then double circles with the shoulders, both the right and the left moving in unison. Doesn't that feel good? Just a few more and broaden your attention to your whole body. Notice which parts or places you could relax a little bit more while still maintaining posture and motion. That's it. Wonderful. Okay, deeper rotations. Again, place your hands on your thighs, lift and lengthen the spine, engage some abdominal core strength, and sliding alternately on the thighs with your hands. Rotate ideally out of the rib cage. Don't worry about how far your head might turn, but we're focusing now on the torso and the generous mobility that this movement allows to the functionality of your spine, the central nervous system, the torso and viscera that are so important to the primary functioning of our health and well-being. And then finally, one more, and just enjoy this as if your body is a playground upon which to play. And again, come to stillness. Let's take those shoulders up, back, and down again. And before we go to our lateral movements, bring the hands into prayer position again, perhaps 3 or 4 inches away from the chest. And as you press the hands together, slowly draw the elbows together too. And let's see how high we can reach those elbows upwardly. And then come back to home base as the hands stop in front of the chest, elbows outwardly. Again, what is it like to synchronize your movement with your breathing? The breath and the body are such good friends, and a yoga practice helps us to remember and enjoy that. As you continue this movement, can you tell what's happening with the muscles around the shoulder blades and beneath the shoulder blades? The muscles around the armpits into the chest and upper arms. Can you feel a little heat arising in the solar plexus and the heart plexus? Okay, and then very patiently, we'll start at home base and one more. On the inhalation, you press, lift, and draw those elbows towards each other. And then on the exhalation, here we go, back to home base. Breathe in, lifting the chest towards your thumbs, and then slowly release, hands softly to the thighs. Close your eyes and just for a moment or two, notice the effect of that recent stimulation and dynamic activity in your body. When you notice, offer the quality of gratitude to your body for coming this far. Take a breath in. And as you exhale again, open your eyes. And we're going to step the feet a little more widely apart. You might put your heels on the outside edges of your yoga mat and allow the arms to relax and perhaps even shake to your side for a little while. Okay, lateral movement looks like this. It's a side-to-side movement. And what we're trying to do is lengthen the concave side and lengthen the convex side. So both sides were aware of a great lift from the pelvis up to the bottom of the ribs. So one arm is reaching diagonally out and down, and then the opposite hand is stroking up the side body so you can encourage that stretch. I'm sure you feel it. If you haven't realized already, it's ideal to keep both sits bones equally pressed into your chair seat. And just about four more. Can you identify what muscles are engaged in general? You don't have to know anything about anatomy or physiology to actually sense what's happening with the suppleness and strengthening here. All right, let's come to stillness. Press your hands into the center of your thighs and again, lengthen the spine. That's our theme among many. Find one arm, bending the elbow, place the forearm on the top of the thigh towards the knee. Now let's keep the space between that ear and that shoulder, okay? A twist, reaching the other arm diagonally forward and down, and then bending the elbow to allow for a rotation as well as a lateral stretch. Continue this movement, ideally exhale and reach diagonally forward and down. And then inhale, pull back, reaching the elbow upwardly. Let's keep the elbow bent to give the right or active arm the most amount of tone. And of course, our other theme is moving rhythmically with the breath and enjoyable connection with two of the most important manifest aspects of the practice of yoga, the body and the breath. So here's our last one. Reach forward and down, and then inhale, pull back. And let's see if you can stay in this position. Again, you want to explore what the best way is for you to hold your head comfortably above the neck. So make any adjustive movements to support that. And then if you can go further, lengthen both arms. You're still leaning diagonally back and laterally over, but you're spreading your arms widely, taking up space around you and above you. Breathe into the length of the spine, and then exhale one more time, leaning back. Okay, inhale, sit tall. And now our home base is hands on the thighs, making any movements to digest and assimilate that powerful lateral rotation. Other side. Okay, set yourself up for length as well as lateral angle and engage your abdominal pelvic core for this movement, reaching diagonally down and across, and again, pulling that active elbow back. So in every yoga class or practice, we can't help but feel a bit competitive. We can't help but feel a little comparative. We may want to rise to an occasion that the body may express as a form of resistance or pain, or the mind may express as good enough or not good enough. Let's discharge that. Let's release any of that by discovering what's called witness consciousness. This is an invocation of a loving and detached, non-judgmental presence that just holds whatever is happening without choice of what to think, feel, or need. So we're in a static twist now. Stay here, release, or going further, extend both arms. You're leaning diagonally back and protecting your neck with any micro movements to adjust for comfort. And now you're breathing. And take a deep breath in, maybe a smile. And very slowly release so that there is a stabilization and assimilation of the effects of your practice and allow any assimilating movements. Okay, so that's a lateral movement that includes a twist. Now we're going to just work with some spinal undulations. My teacher calls this the sea turtle dive, and I think you'll be able to know what I mean. Once again, we start sitting tall. The hands can be a little bit forward on the thighs towards the knees. We'll inhale and then tuck the chin, round the shoulders, and then the upper, middle, and lower back. Dive your forehead, the crown of your head, towards the floor. Look under your chair if you can. And then scoop the nose and chin forward and come up vertebra by vertebra. Lean back a little bit to complete and continue with me. Now, this is the one practice so far where we do not need to coordinate the breath with the movement. Allow your breath to be continuous and free. Just focus on the vertebral activity. Again, a non-linear movement, which is very, very good for mental health and the body. Can you see why this is called the turtle dive? Diving down more deeply into the waters and then resurfacing. Okay, good. So we'll complete here and scissor walk the feet back to hip width apart. And if there's, again, any movements, any wiggles or wobbles that need to be expressed by the body, we need to tell the body that it's not trapped in the yoga practice, but there is liquidity available to the whole body. So our next movement, we're going to take our attention down to the body below the waist a little bit. Reach for one leg. As you pull it up, stack your hands underneath your thigh. We want to refrain from interlacing the fingers. That's very hard on the fingers and the knuckles. So stack your hand behind the thigh, roll the shoulder blades back and down. You might not see that I'm leaning slightly back to prepare to balance. And then simply extend the leg. See if you can flex the ankle and then bend. And again, slowly in a non-judgmental appreciation for not only your abilities, but your limitations. Continue this movement, accepting your range of motion at this time. Notice the sensations of this activity. And note too that there's some lubricative activity in the knee joint and a little bit too in the ankle and the hip. All right, keep going, rest, or the next time that you extend that leg, pause. And you may experience a little bit of trembling or quivering in your leg. That's fine. Don't try to repress it. Now I'm going to lean back a little bit more and engage more of that pelvic floor, abdominal core muscle, and extend the opposite arm from the outstretched leg. This is a seated half upward facing boat pose. I might experiment with extending both arms and, as they say, feel the burn. One more breath in, yes. And then come on out by grasping the back of the thigh. Return the leg And then step that foot out to the side. And I just call this windshield wiping. We want to have some juicing happening here and some release of the recent dynamic activity and effort. Okay, this is very important in the Hatha yoga posture, especially yoga therapeutically, that we're not too hard on the body going from one posture to another, but there are integrative times. All right, so scissor walk. Get yourself centered. You're again on the front edge of your yoga chair. And let's try the other leg, stacking, rolling the shoulders back and down, leaning back slightly, and flexing the ankle. Begin your extension and your flexion. Okay. If you are breathing rhythmically with your body motion, inhale, extend, and exhale, flex. Oh, the body loves our attention, and all of these movements are valuable and relevant to our well-being, from the most basic to even the sublime if you're a meditator. Okay, again, let's try to hold and balance your weight. You might lean back a little bit and just test that opportunity. Extend the opposite hand out to your side. Breathe. Where can you relax? Stay here, release, or experiment with 1 to 4 breaths. Okay, good. One more breath in. And it's just as important to release from a posture meaningfully and consciously as it is to go into that posture. Okay, and wonderful. Any wiggling movements? And then we'll step that recently active leg out to the side and allow some windshield wiping. Slaloming. This is hydrating and valuable for the base of our physical body, pelvic strength and mobility. Okay, and last one. So scissor walk that foot back, and then see if you can extend both legs. You're going to flex your ankles so your toes are pulling towards your shoulders. Give your calves a really good stretch. And this is a subtle activity, but valuable. You want to unlock your knees slightly and squeeze the muscles of the knees into the kneecaps, and then release. And let's do that a few more times. That's the focus on the kneecaps. You may, of course, feel other muscles engaging, such as the thighs and maybe even the buttock. But the knees need to feel like we are supporting them with all sorts of ancillary muscles, as well as tendons and ligaments. And this is also a squeeze and soak of some of the joint fluid. So 2 more. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the knees, and release. And last one. All right. Now I want you to encourage your knees to remain slightly bent so that you're not hyperextending your legs in this position. Reach back one and then the other hand to grasp the back of your chair seat. And now you can probably tell we're going to go into a spinal extension. Draw the shoulders back and down and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Now, for most folks over the age of 60, physical therapists suggest that we do not lift the chin and toss the head back. The cervical vertebrae are sensitive at that point, so that's up to you. They suggest that we keep the chin level, and then we press the head back without lifting the chin. Let the shoulder blades be pressed down away from the earlobes and lengthen the back of the neck. You might even try a yawn here to stretch some of the muscles of the face and the neck. And let's take one more breath in, lengthening the spine, torso, chest. And then slowly relax. And you want to move, again, very slowly back to a comfortable seated posture. And I encourage you to turn your palms upwardly, relax and close your eyes, and become more intimate with the effects of your practice so far. As in all things, it's not exactly what you do, but how you do it. Awake and alert, and yet deeply relaxed and receptive. Okay, inhale. And exhale, open the eyes. Okay, we'll just pause for a moment to appreciate how far we've come, engaging with an harmonious gesture of relaxation into peace and fulfillment. Wonderful. And release. So we're going to go ahead and take the buttock off the chair and bring the chair off to one side or the chair in front of you so that all four of your chair legs are resting comfortably on the yoga mat. All right. I'm going to turn my chair to the side so that you can see how I'm demonstrating our practice. I'm going to place my hands on the outside edge of the chair seat and step one and then the other foot back. I'm making the yoga therapeutic version of the plank pose. And I also want to encourage you to slightly bend your elbows and have the elbows pointing outwardly. When you lock your elbows, you jam your shoulders and you create more tension in your neck and upper back than is necessary. Press the heels back. Again, stretch, stretch, stretch your calf muscles. And leveling the chin. Let's take one more breath in and out. Slowly step one and then the other foot forward, hip width apart. And at this point, we're going to bend the knees. And you might see that I've got the knees fairly bent, flattening out the back, reaching the tailbone away from the soft placement of my hands. And you'll also see that I've got my forearms resting on the chair seat. So this is a squat. And I'm doing my best to release my belly and rib cage onto the strength of my thighs. I'm going to look straight down to also lengthen out the neck. And I'm going to breathe. Okay, we're really firing up those thighs. So we're bringing strength into the thighs. We're also toning some of the hamstrings. We're elongating the spine. And we're also encouraging the breath to move in our awareness into the backside body. So we're going to take one more breath in and out. And then slowly straighten the legs and we'll return to our plank pose, placing the hands on the chair seat, stepping one and then the other foot back, and creating a strong extension from your heels to your shoulders. Unlock those elbows, pull the tummy muscles in. If you want to fire up this posture a little bit more, well, you could draw the pubic bone towards the navel. Breathe. Where can you relax as you are applying the diligent application of effort? And you are, aren't you? And let's take one more breath in if you're still here. And then we're going to return to our forward folding squat. When we bring heat up into the body, and it's called Agni in Sanskrit, we are stimulating the digestive arena. And we're also stimulating the diligent application of focused attention on the experience of ourselves in the present moment. One more breath in and out. Are you here? And then slowly straighten the legs and bring your hands to the outside edges of your chair seat and step your feet widely apart. Okay, so I'm making an adjustment so that my hips are in between the space that my feet define. All right, so neither forward nor back, but right there in the middle space. And we're going to do some rotations here. All right, so I'm going to put my left hand in the middle space of the chair seat. I'm going to kind of just dangle out my right arm. Good. Now I'm going to make a fist with my right hand and bending the right elbow upwardly, rotate the right side of the body towards the ceiling. And then we'll do the reverse movement, which is bringing that hand and arm through. Some people call this threading the needle. And then we continue. So you can probably tell we've already warmed up for this. Are you present? What is the value? What is the relevancy of your practice right now? Okay, keep going, rest, or as you are able, and you can't see this with the video camera, I'm extending that right arm into my twist. Now, instead of dumping the belly, I'm going to draw the tailbone under a little bit just to lengthen out the lumbar spinal curve, and that's going to help you safeguard your posture. Again, you might be able to turn your head to look up and along your extended right arm, but if that is uncomfortable, make any adjustments to help your neck endure and experience. Breathe in, and then breathing naturally. Let's switch sides. Right hand in the middle space on the chair. Shake out your left arm. Okay, just an added instruction. Refrain from jamming the elbow or the shoulder. We have a little bend in that right elbow. Very valuable. Press your fist under the right side and then rotating to the left. So you might notice as we continue that the hips can move from side to side. And that what that does is it addresses the inner thighs, the groin area. This is an excellent series to support the inner pelvic muscles. And that ever so sensitive and often imbalancing psoas muscle. All right, 2 more. Okay, can you hold in this position? Lengthen and rotate the spine. Draw the tailbone slightly under to strengthen and lengthen the lumbar spine. And then, if possible, reach the arm upwardly. You're stretching between both arms and breathe. Okay, one more breath in, reach, 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 reach. And as you exhale, come on out. Place both hands on the chair. And if you can, walk your hands further forward and a separate legged forward fold. You could put your elbows or forearms on the chair and do your best to elongate the spine. Again, we don't want to dump the belly. And so if you can pull the abdominal pelvic muscles up and in and lengthen out the back, that will bode well for your posture. Okay, for some of us, that's too difficult. We may lengthen the hands, the arms, and place the hands on the chair. Or for some, we might want more intensity. And if so, go ahead and just bring your hands down towards the floor or onto the floor. You can even lower your head to the chair seat. And of course, you want to breathe. So let's take one more breath with the next inhalation and exhalation. And then we do want to come up very slowly, hands carefully in place. And then in whatever way you want to step your feet together. Bring your hands to your hips and slowly stand. And you're going to stand all the way up, standing tall. You might not be able to see me because of the camera, but you can see my arms actively engaged, my feet hip width apart. I'm lifting out of the waist. I might even be drawing the inner groins together. The shoulders are back and down, and there's length, length, length in my neck. I even have a soft smile. A-okay. All right. So you might turn towards your chair again, and here I come back into the video. Very carefully release one and then the other knee. Walk your knees over to one side and then sit down. All right. Swing your legs and get as close to your chair as you can. Now, in whatever way you feel safe, you're going to swing your legs up onto the chair seat and then carefully release onto your back. You can make any adjustments to get more comfortable. It helps me if my knee creases, rest gently against the front edge of the chair seat. Okay, I think there's a sigh in order as you allow your body to rest in a position of least resistance. So just breathe and relax and pause to take in the goodness of your practice so far. Wonderful. We'll do a little bit of breathing. We're going to take the right hand and cross it over the lower rib, and then the left hand on top of the right hand. And again, the forearms are on the lower rib, just below the breasts. Okay? You can feel that your forearms have a certain amount of weight. And that's a good thing because you're going to be breathing underneath your arms to activate the diaphragm more dynamically. Okay, relax your legs, relax the back of your neck. If you need a pillow under your head, by all means. Let's exhale and inhale. Lift the ribs up beneath your arms. And then exhale as patiently as possible Let the breath all the way out. Okay, inhale, and you're going to be lifting the ribs, but can you also feel the ribs flooding out to the right and left? Softly let the breath out. Imagine that your breathing is a body prayer. Each cell in your body and the way those cells organize themselves around their special functioning is being blessed. Okay, one more breath all the way out. And then patiently and fully all the way in. Okay, good. Breathing naturally. Bring your hands to prayer position again in front of the chest. And then extend your arms. Your hands are together and the fingertips are pointing up towards your ceiling. And shrug. You're lifting your shoulders off of the floor. And then retract your shrug, dropping the shoulders and pushing them downwardly. Continue this movement. This is very, very good for the shoulders. Those of us who are working at home are often in a sedentary posture or quite active with one or both arms. You can intensify this by pressing the hands even more firmly against each other. All right, let's do about 3 more and challenge yourself with your range of motion. When you extend your arms and hands to the ceiling, how far apart do your shoulder blades move? And then when you retract, how firmly can you press the shoulder blades into the ground? Okay, beautiful. Release, opening the arms. And take the palms of the hands face down to your side. Again, shrug or wiggle, allowing the arms, shoulders, and back to integrate some of that recent movement. Okay, let's slide the knees in and place the heels on the front of the chair seat. Your knees can be together, your feet together, and work with, again, some slalom motion, rocking the knees gently from side to side and exploring the effects of that on the lower back, the inner pelvis, and even the root, sacral, and solar plexus. And now feel free to coordinate this movement intuitively with rolling on the back of your head. Turn your head from side to side. Okay, a wonderful practice. Even if your back is hurting after you've been mowing the lawn or playing the piano or doing any sort of seated or dynamically active movement for a little too long. All right, And come to stillness. And we're going to extend only one leg, and you decide. And then I'm going to take the other leg and with my hands again at the back of the thigh, flex the ankle. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Do your best as you inhale to extend that leg. And remember, I just said do your best. And it's an inhalation as you extend and an exhalation as you flex. Again, if your leg quivers, shakes a bit, that's all right. Okay, so this next one we're going to hold and work with the extension. I'm going to try flexing my ankle more and pushing my heel towards the ceiling. I might even try bringing my hands or fingertips to the place where there is the strongest amount of muscle activity. And of course, I'm going to breathe. Where can you relax? We want the neuromuscular network to have a place of ease and comfort as well as a place of application of effort. Breathe in and good. Release and slide and relax that leg out onto the chair and just pause, soaking up the goodness, offering gratitude to that recently activated leg. Okay, opposite leg in. Again, stacking hands behind the thighs near the knee crease. Okay, flex the ankle and begin extending and flexing. Moving rhythmically with the breath. And again, imagining that this is a body prayer of self-care. Okay, keep going, rest or extend and hold. Work to intensify and then also be kind. Very patiently now, exhale, inhale, and then again slowly bend and slide and release your leg, tossing your arms out to your sides, let your legs fall open. Deeply receive. Okay, so many people come to practice yoga because of tension in the shoulders or some kind of back issue. So let's see if we can try a movement that might address both of these areas. Draw the right knee into chest. This time you can stack your hands to the top of the chin for a moment. And then place the ankle at the very top of the opposite thigh. So already you may be experiencing some sensation in the thigh and pelvis. I'd like you to keep the ankles flexed, okay? And then slowly slide that opposite leg forward. You can just come forward as long as you comfortably can. I'm going to stop right there. And just gently press the hands into the knee and ankle respectively. Feel free to let out any sighs or groans. This is bringing up a lot. Again, the key is relaxation for transformation. Inhale. And then toss the arms out to your sides. Again, palms up. And let's try a little bit of rocking motion. Excellent practice again for lower back and shoulder issues, but also for issues of sciatica or other pelvic imbalances. This is even helpful for diaphragmatic breathing. Okay, one more time to each side. You're doing so well. And then using both hands very slowly, okay? We want to be able to integrate this. Uncross the ankle, extend the legs out to rest again, and pause to breathe, relax, and receive. Very good. Other side. Stack the hands gently at the top of the shin. Pull that leg in. And then we're going to release it to cross the ankle over the opposite thigh. Flex the ankles, both of them. And practice of balancing. I didn't mention this on the other side, but it might help you to place your hands at the bottom of the waist, at your hips, and level your hips. All right, if you're ready, let's see what happens on this side. Sliding the heel in on the chair. Find just the right place for yourself. And then you can place your arms into a T position. Again, palms up is going to help your shoulders. And rock from side to side. Doesn't that feel good? Yeah. So rocking is one of the most soothing psychosomatic movements that anyone can do. And we all need to relax and drop some anxiety in our lives. Okay, so come on back to center. And again, use your hands to slowly guide that recently activated leg out onto the chair. And then give yourself some patient time for integration, assimilation, transformation. This is often where yoga occurs. Okay, now we're going to try and breathe. Take both knees into chest. This may be as far as you go, resting your heels or your toes on the chair seat. You can go further. Take your arms in between your legs. Reach out for the outside edges of your feet. This is called the happy baby. Bring your feet parallel to the ceiling, or you can bring your feet together. Breathe into the length of the spine. Feel your belly very actively breathing. Remain in this static position or rock from side to side. I'm always happy when I do this. It's silly, and yet it's a profound release of spinal tension, maybe even a personal chiropractic adjustment. All right, one more rocking in your happy baby, if that's what you're doing, to each side. And gently release your hands to the back of your thighs. And let's go ahead and slide those legs back out on the chair seat. Let the knees fall open and pause again to breathe, relax. You can sigh it out. Notice your level of receptivity and see if you can double it. Breathe in. And wonderful. So breathing naturally, we'll interlace the fingers, okay? And then extend the pointer finger only. We're going to again lengthen the arms, and you can decide how long your arms are depending on shoulder issues. And this is a movement where we extend the arms so that the fingers tip forward towards the chair. And then we extend the arms slowly, reaching them upwardly and overhead to frame the head. Let this be an exercise for the shoulders, for the upper arms, the chest, and upper back, but also an exercise for your rib cage and all that it contains. And just two more. Inhaling, I know that I am inhaling. Exhaling, I know that I am exhaling. Okay, last one. Okay, release or stack your hands and place them underneath the back of your head, allowing your elbows to slide out and down. From here, slide your heels in again. You may be able to hook your arches on the back edge of your chair, and then open up your knees. And there's a couple other ways to do this. You can keep your feet and heels on the chair seat, or you can draw your knees in and match the feet together without the use of the chair. Okay, wonderful. Let the knees fall open, relax the inner thighs, the inner arms. I invite you to take a nice deep yawn to spread the breath more deeply, cellularly. Good. Release. Release the arms. Use your hands to close the knees. Draw your knees into chest. And we're just going to roll over onto one side. You might pause here for a breath or two. And then using your hands, slowly press upwardly. Okay. So our final practice in this chair yoga class is to turn towards your chair and see if you can slide your legs underneath the chair. All right. Pull aside the buttock flesh. If sitting even like this is uncomfortable, you're going to get a blanket, okay, and fold the blanket to just the right thickness to sit upon. This is going to elevate your hips and perhaps safeguard some unnecessary tension in the back of your legs. Okay, so I'm going to suggest that your knee is right underneath the chair rung. If you don't have a chair rung, that's okay. You just want to bend your knees enough, again, not to hyperextend the legs. We want to keep the objective of our posture flow on the heart of the muscles and not pull on ligaments or tendons. Okay, and then extend your arms also with the elbows slightly bent. And lengthen the spine, and then flex your ankles. Okay, level the chin. And we're going to be making a forward fold now. That forward fold, we want to try to make the entire forward fold out of the hinges of the hips and not out of the back. So I'm going to try and make this forward fold, and you'll see I'm trying to keep my back flat. The back isn't flat, it has its natural curves, but I'm not trying to collapse. So one of the problems with this, and you might notice yourself doing this, is caving the chest. So again, the back is not flat here. We want the back to be flat and long. So don't worry about how far you fold forward, but how much you're able to stretch the whole arena of the thighs, top, back, inside, and out. Another unskillful practice is this, jutting the chin forward. It's very, very detrimental for your posture and puts a lot of pressure, especially on your neck because the head is so heavy. So just a couple of precautions. For those of you who can go further, you might be able to reach out further for the chair. If you don't have a chair like this, or if you want to go even further still, bring your arms out. Back off a little bit and proceed forward slightly. Draw the tailbone down. One more time, back off. And come forward again. Resist the urge to collapse the chest or jut the chin forward. And let's take one more breath in. You can do it. Knees again are slightly bent. And beautiful. Release. Okay. That's not easy, right? And scooch back a little bit. Free your legs from the chair. You can move the chair a little bit further forward. And certainly return with me to our resting pose. This is a wonderful therapeutic rest pose. So we stretch back onto the back again. All right. We can start again with a little bit more of this resting breath. Breathing in and out beneath your hands and arms. The best breath begins with a complete exhalation. Cross the opposite arm on top. And then let's go through a little bit of a body scan. Each time I name a body part, please become aware of that body part and relax it. Let's relax the entire right leg, the entire left leg, the whole head, the whole face. Relaxing the neck and shoulders. Breathing up and down the spine. Relax the back. Relax the belly. As you relax your rib cage, allow your arms to slide off and rest comfortably on the floor. Relax both arms. Deeply relax the belly. And now relaxing the pelvic floor and the pelvis. I'm going to invite you to squeeze your buttocks, engage your thighs, squeeze your fists, and even lift your head a little bit. Squeeze, 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 contraction and tension. And then release and relax your whole body. Your whole body. Your whole body. And stay in this position for as long as you'd like. Relaxed and receptive, and yet awake and alert with gratitude. When you feel complete, gently draw your knees into chest. You might rock a little bit from side to side. And then carefully roll to one side, pausing for a moment. And then breathe your way up into a comfortable seated posture. You're even welcome to sit up on your chair. Okay. So we've come full circle in this good yoga chair practice. I hope you're feeling really good. Relax and look inwardly and affirm yourself and the value and relevancy of your practice this day. Know that your practice can continue as you step off the mat into this precious life of yours. I'm Kelly McKibben. If you'd like to check out my website, it is goodyoga.net. And I have other videos on this website. And you can continue to visit me on my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me, and please like my video if you liked it. Namaste.